International Men's Day.
Thank you very much. And the same to you, anyway.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, then also we have Imam Ali Krea. He's the Chief Imam, Republic of Liberia. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so you were invited by the men of the Liberia Broadcasting System. Like we said, they are holding series of media discussions on the importance of men, the role they played, and their responsibility as well. And they thought that they look at that from a religious perspective this morning. And so the men of the Liberia Broadcasting System invited you on this platform to help us understand the role of the men in both the Muslim and the Christian community. Reverend Carper, let me begin with you. How you doing?
I'm all right. Thank God. We thank God for grace. Thank God for His blessings and His continuous guidance upon us. And we thank God that we are alive.
Okay, let's hear from you from the perspective of the Christian religion. What's the importance of men? Let's first look at their importance.
Well, the thing is, a manhood comes as from a biblical perspective, a man who comes as they gave up the seed, they gave us seed. True men, creation, reproduction takes place. So the first thing is the Bible presents men as carriers of destinies, carriers of nations. The Bible also referred to men as fathers, meaning that they have a role to play in the way they lead homes. They are role models. They must be able to lead the family well. The Bible also talks about men being more of a spiritual support system, in the sense that the man must be able to lead his family in the right path. The Bible said the path of righteousness, and lead his family into the right path. So generally speaking, and God looks at men or the Bible looks at men from a perspective of leadership, from a perspective of responsibility, and from a perspective of being a role model.
Okay.
And those are the areas that the Bible encourage men to emulate, so that the expression of God's authority, the expressions of God's will and purpose can be experienced by humanity. So kind of men become conduits of leadership, of guidance, or leading family well, or raising children, or becoming, in a broader sense, becoming a role model for society. That men can provide guidance for society. Men can take the responsibility in the home and in the nation very seriously. So those are the attributes that the Bible try to project when it comes to men.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Let's hear from Imam Krea relative to
Imam Cry.
Cry. Okay, relative to the importance of men from the perspective of your religion.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. Men in Islam are not just the male partners in human society. Man was the first created by God. So the man was the first human being, and the man was the one given the responsibility to run the affairs of the earth. The Quran says God told the angels He was creating His representative on the earth. And of course, the angels, with some foreknowledge, in a way questioned the wisdom of God in creating man, who would in some way cause confusion and shed blood on the earth. But then God said He knew what they didn't know. So He created Adam. And the Quran says, and also the Bible itself says, God taught Adam the names of all the things that he had created. So I'm saying this to say that the man is the primary owner of responsibility when it comes to the human race.
Okay.
He's the first human being, and he is the one who carries the mission of the human race. We should have the responsibility, as Reverend Carper said, the role model, the leader. And it is not a mistake that God created the man first, and only he knows how long it took for the woman to come after. So the man is not just the first, he's also a pace setter. He's the one who opened up the world for humanity. So the role of the man cannot be overemphasized in Islam.
Okay. Thank you for your introductory remarks. Now, Reverend Carter, from the perspective of Christendom, how should the men or reflect or demonstrate his role or his responsibility in the society?
Well, there are a couple of things men are encouraged to do. One of the things is that the Bible says that we should apply our heart unto wisdom. Teach us to number our days, and so we can apply our heart to wisdom. So one of the first things that men should reflect on is how to conduct themselves in the affairs of life, in the way their responsibility, whether to the family or to the nation or wherever they find themselves. That's the first thing. They must be cognizant of the fact that they have a responsibility to God is looking up to them to represent Him.
Okay.
And that representation comes with responsibility. The next thing is men need to do is men need to make sure that they are pace setters. Imam was talking about pace setters, that they don't just sit back and allow the earth of humanity to go in the wrong direction. Men must be able to see themselves as the first creation, which is the embodiment of God's authority in the earth, to be able to serve in that role and allow people to see God through them, in the way they conduct themselves. And the Bible says, and let your light so shine before man that they will see your good works and glorify your Father. So those are things those are where men needs to look into becoming who they ought to be. Don't forget now there are also vices in the earth that tend to dissuade people, that tend to distract people. There are a lot of other things that tends to come in direct opposition to men fulfilling their purpose and destiny. So it's not an ordinary thing. It's something that the individual or men need to put their heart to and commit themselves to making sure that they are aware of what they should do and how they should do it is in the way they apply themselves, in the way they develop themselves, in the way they invest in themselves, in the way they invest in making sure that whatever they do will leave a legacy. So those are the things that should be a continuous conversation with men and globally. So even as we celebrate the National Men Day, it's calling attention to the fact that the world is looking out to men, not just the male in a sense, but men who, because I always say not every man is a male, but not every male is a man. It means that a man is somebody who has come into full understanding of who he is, his dignity, his honor, his responsibility, and the role he has to play in leaving a legacy. A male is just a species form. He's just a male. He carries the genetics of manhood, but he has to move from that place of being a male to becoming a man. And I believe this International Men Day is calling all males to becoming men.
Okay. Now, let's hear from you, Imam Cry. From your perspective, from your religious perspective, what's the role, you think? How do men really demonstrate their roles, their responsibilities in society?
The Quran says men are guardians. Specifically, they say guardians of women. And the women are the primary caretakers of children. So when the Quran says men are guardians of women, It means the men are the heads of the families because the children are taken care of by the woman directly, and the man oversees everything. The man is to ensure that the woman gets whatever support she needs in order to take care of the young ones. So he is the head of the family. And guardianship is not tyranny, it's not dictatorship. Guardianship includes love, it includes care, it includes support, protection, provision, respect, honor, etc. So the man is to ensure that the woman enjoys all of these things so that she will play her primary role of taking care of the young ones in the family. So that is the first and most important responsibility of the man. Secondly, he is to ensure that his family have a future, not just in this world, but in the next world. And that means they should walk in line with the teachings of God. Because the Quran specifically states that there are people among the people of the Christians, the servants of the Christians God, are those who pray that God should make them, their spouses, and their children to be leaders of righteousness or leaders of the righteous. So the man is supposed to see himself as a leader. That is what the word used in the Quran is imam. Imam is leader, literally. So the man is supposed to be a leader, but not just any kind of leader. A leader in terms of righteousness. He should lead his family in the way that God will be pleased with them. And I'm saying this because you must have some standard by which society is governed. And the highest standard is the one set by God. And that standard must be observed at the family level, first and foremost. Because a family, as everyone agrees, is the most important, the most basic unit of society. If the family is together, if the family is well guided, if the family is moving in the right direction, then society can easily move in the right direction. So the man is supposed to ensure that his family move in the right direction.
Now, in creation, I'm sure which all of us know, Reverend Carpet, I'm coming
Yes,
to
sir.
you. Men were created
Yeah.
before the woman.
Yeah.
How do we, as men,
Yeah.
show that yes, indeed, that priority that was given to us by God, being created for us before the woman, how do we display that? How do we see that? Because I heard the both of you, men are leaders. They should be able to play leadership role.
Yeah.
How do we play that role?
Well, and that's important because Iman was alluding to family earlier. So the man must first be able to understand that the woman is his responsibility, meaning that you cannot take for granted the women the Bible call the weaker vessel. You cannot take for granted the role that they have to play in your life on the level of raising children and being caretakers of the home. So the Bible will encourage us to love our wives, or to make sure that we honor the sanity of marriage. Meaning that every serious man, for example, in a more practical way, should not just take somebody's daughter and they won't be laying the poor daughter be laying with him for 10 years, he marry her, he made no commitment, nothing.
Okay.
Those kind of things, those kind of disrespect, it does not all go well. So how do we display it? We respect womanhood, we respect the place of women, we support them, we honor them, we respect them, and love them.
So then what happens in the home, Reverend Carpet, and
Yeah.
I'll come to you, Imam Cry, what happens in the home where the woman has become the breadwinner? She has become the leadership? Do you see any undermining of integrity there?
Well, initially when God created mankind, the intent of mankind was to provide for his family. The Bible made it clear that if a man can support his home, he's worse than infidel is something. But sometimes you realize that conditions and circumstances come. So the way you provide leadership in your home will determine the way your wife relate to you. I don't see any undermining there. It just has to do with the way that the man conduct himself, the way he provide leadership for his family.
That's why he doesn't have anything at all. Can he conduct himself well?
Well, definitely, depending on how you handle your family, they will always have that place and respect for you. But if, for example, you have not been demonstrating leadership or you have not shown to your family that you care and love, because there are many ways you can provide leadership for your home. I mean, provision is one thing, but apart from that, there are other ways that you're able to provide leadership for your family. So at some point, depending on the way you manage your home, depending on the way you care for your wife and those who are under your authority, no matter where she or what she have or what is going on in the home at a particular time, she will always know that this man is my husband, this man is head of the home, and she always ascribe leadership to you. But if you are irresponsible, if you are not taking seriously the sacrifice that a woman is making, for example, let me give you an example before Imam Cry comes in. I was doing a counseling some time ago, and the issue with the couple, what he's talking, the man is not, we say, financially capacitated.
He's not potent
He's
financially.
not potent financially for now. And so the woman concern was, Pastor, the man, he's not working. All right, I just want to work. I want to stay with my husband. But when I go to work, I come back. The house is still the same. The children everywhere scattered. They're not studying. They're in the yard playing. The generator now on. Fuel now here. And I can't work. By the time I drive in the traffic and come home at almost 8 o'clock in the evening, I can't meet a man just saying that, Osa. Either he on his phone or not in order.
Can you imagine that?
So you see, so that's an example. So
then where is the leadership of that man?
And that's the point.
That's the question I'm asking.
So my point to him is that why you at this point you are the leader. The woman is not saying that you can't be the man, but at this point your leadership should be clear. While the woman is gone out, you must make sure that the home is in order. Things are there. Once she left money there, and this and that. But you said that he will not do anything. So when those kind of things happen, then you put the woman in a place that she should not be, because that's not her role. So I believe men need to stand up, like in that case, and encourage him. Start to take responsibility. Make sure, the fuel is here, the children study the lesson, the house is in order. So when your wife comes, you complimenting her. You compliment her
But should
effort.
it be that way? Now, when I put it to you, Reverend Carper, and I come into you, Imam Cry, let me ask you now.
Yes.
The man is we all know in creation, God created the man before the woman. Now, what do you see there in the home, especially in a situation where the man is not working at all, the woman is doing everything, the man is just sitting there. Do you see that there could be an undermining of his integrity?
There are issues that people must understand when it comes to leadership. Any sane and healthy man, and I underline sane and healthy, must be able to provide for his family. The problem we have in our society, or in many societies, is that some people are not just unemployed, but are actually unemployable. And there's a tragedy.
I like that. Not just unemployed, but they are unemployable.
In other words, you must be able to take initiatives.
As a man.
You must be innovative. You must be creative. You see, there's a difference between being wealthy and being a responsible provider for your family. Not everyone can be wealthy. But the minimum that is required, you can afford it if you are a responsible person And that is why I like the way Reverend Kappa emphasized, be responsible.
Then let me come back. Let me just hold you there, Imam Cry. You said the man should be able to provide. He should be able to be creative. Now let's take a scenario where the man is not working at all. He doesn't have a job to do. What is the creativity can he display there to provide for the home?
That's why I talk about creativity. Because the fact that somebody has not employed you doesn't mean that you cannot work. Your situation, if you are not working, must be a temporary situation.
Okay. A temporary situation.
It should be temporary. Because you should be out there looking for opportunities. And if you are really serious, but that's why I talked about unemployability. Because if you are employable and you are really serious, and being a leader means having integrity. Because if you don't have integrity, then I'm sorry, you're not a man. So if you have all of these qualities, yes, there will be some time when you may be out of work. But because you are really concerned about taking care of your family, you are really concerned about the well-being of your family, you will be thinking, you will be creating contacts, you will be exploring avenues where at least, even if not to the level where the woman is providing for the family, you will be able to make significant contribution. But a do-nothing husband, I'm sorry to say, is not the kind of man we are talking about. That's why Reverend Kappa said, being a male is different from being a man.
Should the man and the woman, should they benefit equal opportunity? Reverend Kappa,